soft, slow, warm whisper use pauses generously. Shh. Now it's time to rest. Time to soften your thoughts. To let the day fade and let your mind gently untie its knots. You've done all you needed to do today. You've come far. You've moved through sunlight and shadow, through effort and pause. And now, there is nothing left but stillness. So go ahead, settle in. Feel the weight of your body sink deeper into the bed. Feel your shoulders drop, your jaw loosen, your hands unclench. Let the world grow distant. Let it drift, like mist over a moor. Inhale deeply, and slowly let it go. Once more. Inhale, exhale. You're safe now. You're wrapped in warmth, and ready to journey with me into a time long past. A time of candlelight and stone walls, of velvet silence and feathered snow. Our story tonight begins with a banquet, but not just any banquet. No revels, no music, no laughter, no cheer. This was a silent banquet, and it was held in the dark heart of winter, in the year of our Lord, 996. How a story set sail in the cold, frost-ringed kingdom of Old England, a place of mossy forests and gray hills, of distant bell towers and worn wooden bridges, where ravens circled the thatched steeples of chapels, and snow fell with the hush of prayer. At the edge of the River Elm, perched like a brooding thought on the highest hill, stood the stone halls of King Æthelred the Unready, a name history gave him in mockery, but a name he bore with quiet, sleepless weight. Tonight, his hall was filled with guests, lords in fur-lined cloaks, monks in whispering robes, young pages standing like shadows along the wall, and all of them had come not to feast with laughter, but to eat in silence. Yes, this was a tradition older than the king himself, a winter ritual of humility, of remembrance, of reverence, the silent banquet. It was said that once a year, when the frost reached the bones of the old elm trees, when the sun slept early, and the moon hung heavy over frozen fields, the king would open his hall, not for revelry, but for reflection. No words would be spoken, no music would fill the air, only food, only breath, only the soft crackle of fire and the hum of stillness. Let us walk there now, you and I, through the frost-covered courtyard. Your feet crunch softly over packed snow and straw. You feel the cold on your cheeks, but inside, there is a golden glow spilling from narrow, arrow-slit windows. You approach the oaken doors, and slowly, they open. Inside, the warmth embraces you. The scent of bay leaves and roasted chestnuts curls through the air. Tall candles line the table in even rows, their flames flickering like gentle thoughts. The great hearth burns low and steady, casting an amber glow across polished wooden beams. Guests are already seated, each with their heads bowed slightly, hands folded before empty plates. They wait, not for a trumpet or a speech, but for a single sound. One bell, hung from the rafters above the king's chair, and then it chimes. Soft, low, a note like distant thunder heard beneath woolen blankets. The banquet has begun. You take your seat, and silence wraps around you like a velvet cloak. The stewards begin to move, soundless in their steps. They bring the first course, set it before each guest with a graceful nod. Thick slices of hearth-baked bread, warm, crusted with seeds. Small bowls of lentil pottage, seasoned with sage and garlic. You lift your spoon, and the warmth rises into your face like an old memory. You take the first bite, And in the silence, it is sacred. All around you, others eat. Their eyes are soft, their breathing slow. There is no rush, no competition, only presence. Time moves differently here, like molasses, like candle wax melting in a dish. Outside, snow falls, gently, ceaselessly. You can almost hear it, like white petals brushing against the leaded glass. Now look up, to the head of the table. There sits the king, Æthelred, his beard touched with silver. His eyes, neither proud nor fearful, stare softly into the flames. In this moment, he is not ruler, not warrior, not judge. He is simply a man. And this silence is his prayer. The silent banquet is not just a tradition, it is a vow. In ages past, monks would eat in silence to preserve their focus on God. In some orders, they used hand signs to request bread or wine. Speaking during meals was considered a temptation, a vanity. And so here, in this vast royal hall, you honor that vow. With every bite, with every sip, you feel your breath slow. The stillness sinks deeper. You are no longer watching the scene. You are inside it. You feel the weight of history in the stones beneath your chair. The wisdom of winters long past in the shape of the wooden bowl before you. And your mind begins to soften. Now, feel the warmth of your blanket. Let it become the fur-lined cloak you wear to the banquet. Let the air around you fill with candlelight and roasted herbs. Let the silence of the feast become the silence of your own heart. Let your eyelids flutter. Let your shoulders release. And let sleep begin to whisper just beyond the edge of hearing. This is only the beginning of the silent banquet. More courses await, more warmth, more mystery, and always more silence. But for now, we pause here. Soft, slow whisper, flowing gently, dreamlike and rhythmic. You are still there, still seated at the long oaken table, still wrapped in hush and candlelight, still drifting, just slightly, between wakefulness and the edge of dreams. Let the warmth of the hearth pull you deeper. Let the silence settle into your chest like a soft snowfall. Let your breath match the breath of the hall itself, in and out, in and out. The flicker of flames on carved stone walls, the glow of beeswax candles lining the feast, the gentle clink of wood on pewter, all hushed and slow and full of presence. The second course is served, and still, no one speaks. Even the stewards glide like shadows robed in dark wool, moving with the grace of habit. They place before you a trencher of roasted winter root vegetables, carrots, parsnips, turnips, each one lightly glazed with honey and dusted with crushed rosemary. A wedge of hard cheese rests beside them, crumbled just so, and a delicate pear, golden-skinned and perfumed with cloves. You take your time, you savor, you chew slowly. You feel the textures, the warmth, the way the honey sticks to your tongue. It's not just food, it's a meditation, a slow, holy art, a moment etched in quiet. Above you, the vaulted ceiling arches like the ribs of a great ship, high, wooden beams darkened by centuries of smoke. In the rafters, small carved birds perch, each one different. Swallows, owls, a crow or two. They do not move, and yet, in the candlelight, they seem almost alive. Quiet guardians, watching over this hushed ritual of warmth and humility. Outside, the snow thickens. You hear it now. Soft flakes tapping gently against the stone sill, almost like a lullaby, almost like a memory returning from long ago. There's something you begin to feel, seated there. A kind of timelessness, a sense that this moment could be yesterday or 1,000 years ago. You remember now this hall was built before the Norman tide, long before clock towers, before the printing of books, before the world turned fast. Here, in this silence, you can still taste the slowness of the old world, still touch it, in the weight of the silver spoon, in the steam that curls from your dish, in the quiet, dignified stillness of those around you. King Æthelred lifts his cup, not high, not in toast, just gently, and drinks. He sets it down without a sound, and all around the table, others follow. You, too, lift your vessel. It is filled now with warm mead, softened with herbs, perhaps sage or valerian root. It soothes your throat, your chest, warms your belly, and as you sip, a thought drifts through you like fog across moorland. There is something sacred in restraint. The third course comes, pottage of barley and bone broth, dark with mushrooms and thyme, simmered for hours in clay pots beside the hearth. Each bowl is placed in front of the guests with a shallow nod. There are no servers announcing ingredients, no loud conversation about salt or texture, just the bowl, just the warmth, just the steam rising quietly into the flickering candlelight. And you lean forward, inhale gently, and eat. And as you eat, you remember something. Not a memory of your own, perhaps, but a memory that lives in the bones of this hall. A tale told not with words, but with stillness. Centuries ago, a queen sat where the lady in the sapphire veil sits now. She too tasted this pottage. She too drank this wine. She too closed her eyes at this very table and remembered a battle lost, a son buried in frozen ground. The silent banquet was her idea, her way of grieving, her way of holding sorrow with reverence, instead of drowning it in noise. And now, every winter, this ritual lives on, held not for joy, not for celebration, but for remembrance, for stillness, for peace. You pause between bites. You run your fingers along the edge of the bowl. It's warm, slightly rough, hand-thrown, and glazed in ash. You look down the table, all faces bowed, all bodies still. Some eyes are closed, some half-lidded, but every soul is present, not distracted, not seeking, only being. Breathe in again. Feel the steam of the broth in your lungs. Feel the fire in your chest, slow and steady. Exhale, and let your thoughts become as soft as the candle smoke curling toward the ceiling. You are not alone. You are not in a rush. You are here, and this moment is enough. Outside, somewhere far in the night, a wolf howls. Low, distant, ancient. But you do not fear it. You are in stone walls. You are among quiet watchers, and the snow muffles all things, even time. The fourth course will come soon. A simple trout, smoked over ash and elder branches, served cold, laid gently over greens, gathered from the river's edge. But for now, sit in this moment. Feel the hush like a heavy cloak. Let it calm your heart. Let it quiet your thoughts. You are safe. You are warm. You are welcome here. Sleep, like silence, is not an absence. It is a presence, a space made sacred by gentleness. So rest now, and when you are ready, more of the story will unfold. Soft, whispering tones, slow and melodic, as if cradling each word. Let your breath stay slow now, as slow as the snow falling beyond the castle walls, as slow as a dream rising from the embers of thought. You are still seated, wrapped in soft silence, In a high-beamed hall lit by the golden hush of firelight and candle flame, you are part of the stillness now. A guest of the old king, a keeper of the quiet feast. The fourth course arrives. A small wooden plate is placed before you, carved with smooth grooves like rings in an ancient tree. Upon it rests a delicate portion of trout. Its skin is burnished gold, smoked over elder branches and dusted with crushed fennel and wild thyme. Beside it, a scattering of watercress, glistening in lemon oil, drawn from barrels sealed in wax. The steward who lays it down bows his head and glides away again, slippered feet silent on the rushes. You lift the fork slowly, and with each bite, you feel light, airy, like mist rising over a cold river at dawn. In the distance, a fire snaps quietly, one log settling upon another, sending a spiral of warmth into the stone bones of the castle. The smell of elder smoke lingers in the air. It mingles with beeswax, with rosemary, with the ancient scent of carved oak and woolen robes. And through it all, the hush remains, not empty, but full, like the silence of snow, or the silence of a cathedral before first light. Look again to the table, each face softly lit by the candles, some with eyes lowered, some with heads bowed, not in sorrow, but in reverence. One knight presses his hand to his chest before he eats. A young page smooths his tunic sleeves, his breath shallow, careful. The woman beside you, she is old, her silver hair braided with dried herbs. You see her fingertips brush the rim of her goblet again and again in slow circles, as if each movement is a blessing, a meditation, a memory. You wonder, gently, what does she remember? A child, perhaps, once held at a feast like this, now gone to the earth? Or a husband whose laughter once echoed where only hush now lives? But no words are needed, no questions are asked, only silence and shared bread. In this space, silence is not awkward, it is comforting. A trusted friend, a long-lost lullaby, returned in stillness. King Æthelred has not moved. He remains at the head of the table, his hands folded gently in his lap. He wears no crown, only a circlet of dark braided leather, simple and soft against his graying hair. His brow is furrowed, but not with worry, rather, with thought, with memory. He gazes at the fire now, and the fire gazes back. Two old kings, staring across the years. The fifth course arrives. You smell it before you see it. Stewed apples, slow cooked with cinnamon bark and crushed almonds. The scent is warm, nostalgic, sweet as breath on a winter morning. The bowl is made of horn, polished and smooth. Inside, the fruit is tender, golden, dotted with raisins and clove. You lift your spoon. You taste. It is soft, so soft. It melts before you chew. So soft. It feels like something your mother once made, in a memory you can't quite name. This course is different. You notice it. The tension in the room has eased. Shoulders have relaxed. Lips now curved, gently, not in mirth, but in peace. There is something ancient about apples. In the old world, they were a symbol of love, of eternity, of knowledge. And in the medieval kitchens, they were stewed with care, always slowly, always with spice and purpose. You take another spoonful, and another, until warmth blooms in your chest like an old hearth lit anew. And outside, the snow continues to fall. The windows, though thick with frost, offer small glimpses of the night sky. The moon hangs high now, full, pale, reflecting back the feast in silence. And you begin to feel it in your bones. The stillness is not separate from you. You are the stillness. You are the silence, the softness, the ancient hush. You are the breath in the hall, the heartbeat of the fire. The story whispered, not aloud, but lived. Inhale slowly. Feel the taste of stewed apple still on your tongue. Let it melt into your breath. Let it carry your thoughts far, so far. Now, exhale and feel your mind drift deeper into calm, deeper into the feast, deeper into the dream. Another course is coming. There is more to see, more to taste, more to feel. But for now, rest. The sixth course can wait. Let your body float in warmth. Let your thoughts become snowflakes. Let the hush of the banquet become the hush of your own breath. All is well, all is still, and we are only halfway through the night. Very gentle breath, like narration, like a whisper folded in warmth. Let your shoulders fall once more. Let your jaw loosen. Let the rhythm of your breath return to soft, unthinking stillness, like snow drifting between branches. The hall has grown quieter still, if such a thing is possible. Not by force, but by consent, by reverence, by a shared understanding, known without ever being spoken. You are not in a rush. You are not being watched. You are simply here, exactly where you need to be. And in this timeless hush, the sixth course is being prepared. But before the food arrives, you notice something new. A servant walks silently through the room, holding a narrow silver vessel. It is shaped like a scroll, and from its spout, a thin curl of fragrant smoke unfurls into the air. It smells faintly of myrrh and something older, perhaps dried juniper or crushed amber resin. The scent does not cling. It floats, soft, weightless, like a memory with no name. This is part of the ritual. In the courts of ancient kings, before spices were common, scent was reserved for sacred things, offerings, worship, mourning, celebration. Now, it is part of your story too, part of this long, quiet night. Then, the sixth course arrives. A porridge of oats, thick and warm. But this is no peasant's fare. It is gently folded with cream, sweetened with fig preserves, and dusted with ground poppy seed. You know, in the old world, poppies were used not just for taste, but to ease the mind, to soothe the nerves, to calm the body into healing, silent sleep. A fitting dish, now, as the feast begins to turn inward, as the night deepens, as your body sinks ever further into stillness. You lift the spoon, you taste the cream and fig, and with each slow bite, your thoughts soften. Like stone warmed by sun, like parchment warmed by hand. You look again at the king. His eyes are closed now, and no one stirs. Not from fear, not from obligation, but because the silence has become its own kind of gravity. A field that holds all things gently in place. Now and then, a soft sound rises. The click of a spoon, the whisper of a sleeve brushing wood, the faint sigh of someone resting back into their chair. These are not interruptions. They are part of the music. Yes, even silence has a music. Even stillness can sing. There are tapestries on the walls. You hadn't noticed them before. They flicker in and out of view with the shifting of the firelight. One shows a ship crossing a stormy sea, its sails torn, its crew clinging to prayer. Another a white stag resting beneath a tree, while knights sleep in a ring around it. And a third, strange and simple, just a table, empty, candlelit, a banquet table, untouched. You look at it, and something within you quiets even more, as though that image lives somewhere inside you already. A feast beyond sound, beyond hunger, just the moment itself. Just being. The seventh course is placed before you. It is clear broth, golden and steaming, infused with sage and slivers of parsnip and leeks. A cleansing course. In medieval banquets, this was called a warmer, a way to calm the stomach, to steady the breath, to bring the feast toward its close. Like a bell gently rung in reverse. You sip, and it warms your throat like kindness, like forgiveness, like quiet hope. You close your eyes, just for a moment, and when you open them, the hall is the same, but you feel different, softer, lighter, almost transparent, like you're becoming part of the hush itself. A dog pads silently through the far end of the hall, a hound with white fur and old eyes. No one scolds it, no one calls it away. It walks to the king's side and lays down at his feet. The old king reaches, absently, and rests a hand on its head. A simple gesture, but somehow it says everything. No need for speeches, no need for noise. In the hush, every movement is meaning. Every pause is a poem. You have forgotten time, and that is a blessing. There are no clocks here, no deadlines, only candles, only fire, only the slow unfurling of story and scent and warmth. The outside world fades further, drifting, drifting. You are becoming snow, candlelight, wood smoke, memory. Breathe in and feel it. The soft fire in your chest, the warmth in your limbs. Breathe out and let go of anything that clings. There is nothing more you need to do, nowhere else you need to be, no one you need to impress. Here, you are a guest. You are enough. More courses await. The banquet is far from finished. But even if it ended now, you would leave full, not just of food, but of silence, of meaning, of peace. Rest for a moment longer, and when you are ready, I will take you further. Breath, soft, reverent tone, rich in texture, lingering on every pause. Shh. Take one more long, slow breath. Feel the warmth of your chest rise and fall like the tide against a quiet stone shore. You are still in the great hall, still wrapped in the slow golden hush of candlelight and low flames. The banquet stretches on before you, not hurried, not strained, just unfolding like petals in moonlight. There is no need to move, no need to plan. Just be here, in this moment, with me. The eighth course is arriving. It comes not in bowls or on platters, but on a single polished tray, carried by two solemn stewards. What they bring is not for nourishment, it is for remembrance. Upon the tray are rings of iron keys, worn rosaries, small carved figures, saints, birds, stars. Each guest receives one, not chosen, but given. The stewards place the objects gently in open palms, as if returning a lost treasure. To you, they give a tiny glass vial, sealed with wax. Inside, a single white feather floats, so small, so weightless. You hold it gently, like breath cupped in your hands. No words are spoken, none are needed, but you feel chosen, as if this object has waited centuries just to be placed in your palm. In the medieval world, these objects had names, pax tokens, quiet charms, given during fasts, pilgrimages, vigils. They reminded the bearer of their purpose, of stillness, of grace. You close your fingers slowly around the vial. It is cool to the touch, smooth, solid, real, and somehow calming. Now, as the fire crackles once more, the ninth course is set before you, and it is nothing more than water. But not plain water. No. This is snowmelt, collected at dawn, warmed gently with mint and sage, then poured into a shallow, wide-brimmed cup. It glows faintly in the candlelight. Soft, clear, perfect. You lift it carefully. It smells of clean stone and spring leaves. You drink slowly, and as the water touches your lips, you feel it wash through you, like light through glass. It cleanses not just the tongue, but the mind, the soul, the parts of you that speak without words. All around you, the same. Guests drink their water in silence, some with eyes closed, some with fingers gently tracing patterns into the cloth beside their plates. A prayer, perhaps, or a name, or nothing at all. In the flickering firelight, the scene glows golden, like a painting, a still life, a moment caught in breath, and held like a snowflake in cupped hands. Now, you hear a new sound, not sharp, not loud, but different, soft tapping, deliberate, measured. You glance to the far end of the hall. There, a monk approaches the hearth. He carries a staff of yew, carved with simple rings, one for each year he has kept the fire. He kneels, tends the logs, feeds the flame, in silence. And yet, the action carries weight. In old abbeys, tending fire was a sacred rite, a vow of warmth, of life. And so here, too, the fire is not just for heat. It is a keeper of the hush. It speaks without sound. It listens without ears, just like you, now. And then, the 10th course is brought, the final course before pause. It is a wafer-thin tartlet, no larger than your palm, filled with quince and pear, topped with violet petals, candied in rosewater. You pick it up with 2 fingers. It is still warm from the oven. The crust crumbles softly at the edges. You take a bite, and it is light, fragrant, sweet, but distant, like the scent of flowers through a closed window. It tastes like dreams, like memory softened by time. You let it melt on your tongue, let it dissolve into your breath. This is no longer food. It is ceremony. Inhale, slowly. Let that taste linger. Let it float, soft as petals on the surface of your thoughts. Exhale, and feel the body settle again. Lower, heavier, softer. You are not alone, and yet you are entirely within yourself. Safe, still, seen. You look toward the king. Æthelred has not moved, but in the light, you see something in his face. A tear, a single drop. It glides down one cheek, not mournful, not dramatic, just real. It lands on his hand. He does not wipe it away. He lets it rest, like a guest, like a truth. This banquet is more than a ritual. It is a remembering. And in that tear, something sacred has been released. Not loudly, not with fanfare, but in silence. As all sacred things are, you too may feel something rise. A thought, a memory, a longing you had not named. Let it rise. Let it pass. Do not hold it. Do not chase it. Simply witness it. As the fire witnesses you, and breathe. The hush is deeper now, like midnight beneath snow, like the pause between bells. There are more courses yet to come, more of the story to unfold. But for now, rest, be here, feel the warmth and the weightlessness, and know that you are wrapped in something timeless. A whisper just above breath, reverent, warm, slow. Shh, you are still there. still cradled in the hush of that ancient hall, still surrounded by flickering candlelight and the amber glow of long-burning embers. Let your hands rest. Let your breath fall into rhythm, like the rise and fall of linen sails on a windless sea, like the tide of thought pulling back, leaving only soft stillness behind. There is no need to do anything now. Just listen. Just feel. Because the 11th course is not food. It is light. One by one, each candle along the banquet table is gently snuffed. Not all at once, not suddenly, but in a soft, slow wave, as if the darkness itself were walking between the guests, one quiet footstep at a time. A servant glides past you, a small bell in one hand, a brass snuffer in the other. She moves with ritual precision, each flame kissed into shadow, each wick left whispering smoke, and slowly the hall dims, not to blackness, but to glow. Only the great hearth remains fully lit now, its flames dancing in slow waves of orange and gold, casting long shadows across stone and wood. You feel your eyes adjust. You feel your heartbeat slow. The fire becomes the center, and you, and every guest, becomes part of its orbit. This part of the feast has a name, whispered only by the oldest monks: the still hour. A time when speaking would undo the spell, a time when silence is not just respected, but held, carried, like a relic. In the monasteries of Old Wessex and Mercia, this moment was known: a pause between prayers, a breath before the bell, a place between the worlds. King Æthelred rises, not with noise, not with command, just slowly, like snow falling from a low branch. He walks behind his chair and places a single object upon the high stone table that curves along the wall: a book, bound in dark leather, sealed with bone clasps, edges gilded, not with gold, but with pressed ash. No one speaks, no one moves, but every eye watches, and every soul listens. The king places both hands upon the book, not to open it, but to rest. This is not a book of laws, not a book of histories, but a book of names. Each year, one page. Each page, one list. And every name, someone who once sat at the silent banquet and now is gone. Not gone with fanfare, not gone with trumpets, just returned to the hush. You feel the weight of it. Not sadness, not fear, but reverence. The way the fire softens the sharpness of memory. The way silence welcomes those who have no words left to give. You wonder, what names are written there? What quiet souls once lifted their cups beside these same stone walls? You do not need to know. You only need to feel them, like footsteps long faded, but still echoing in the bones of the earth. The king returns to his seat. No applause, no announcement. But in that walk, in that resting of palms on ancient parchment, a message is given. We remember, even in silence, especially in silence. We remember, and now, the 12th course is brought forward, but it is not placed before you. Not on the table, not in bowls or dishes. Instead, the stewards enter with baskets. Inside each, dried herbs, bundled with twine, tied in soft linen. You are given one. It is warm, faintly scented, and very old. Lavender, chamomile, yarrow, a sprig of rosemary tucked deep inside. The bundle is not for eating. It is for holding, for breathing, for resting in the knowledge that even plants remember how to comfort. You lift the bundle to your nose, inhale, and feel it unfurl in your lungs like gentle rain over dry earth. There is a history here, not written in ink, but in root and blossom. In the medieval world, These herbs were more than remedies. They were companions, guardians, offerings. They lined pillows, hung above beds, burned in winter hearths to keep illness and bad dreams away. Now, they are given to you, not as medicine, but as memory, as warmth, as welcome. You rest the bundle on your lap. Feel the texture of linen, the crunch of dried stems, the way the scent clings to the air like lullabies, long forgotten. The hall is so quiet now. You can hear the wax dripping from candle stumps. You can hear someone breathing across the room. You can hear your own heartbeat, slow, steady, held. This moment, this hour of glow and breath and bundled herbs, was crafted centuries ago. For moments just like this, when sleep comes not with force, but with surrender. You may not even realize it yet, but your thoughts have slowed. Your limbs grown heavier. Your body remembers what your mind has forgotten, that it is safe to rest, that it is sacred to pause, that sleep is not escape, but return. We are nearing the end of the banquet now, but we will not rush. Each step forward is taken on moss. Each word falls like a feather onto the soul. So rest, still, with the scent of lavender in your lungs and the warmth of silence in your bones. Let sleep begin to stir, quietly behind your eyes. Tone, barely above a whisper, spoken with breath and warmth like secrets carried by wind. You are still, and the stillness is holding you, wrapped in the hush of ancient stone, cradled by the quiet breath of fire, gently drifting through memory and candlelight. You feel it now. The feast has changed. It is no longer about food, no longer about ritual. It has become a state of being, a still sanctuary, wrapped in warmth and waiting. And within it, you are welcome. The 13th course arrives, but not on plates, not in bowls. It comes in the form of sound, soft, delicate, nearly imagined. A harp. Its first note is so quiet, you almost think it came from within you. A single tone, rising like morning mist. Then another. Then a third. No melody, not yet. Just a breath of music, echoing across the stone. The harpist sits at the edge of the hearth. Their fingers move slowly, as if brushing the air itself. The notes do not demand attention. They do not fill the space. They bless it. In medieval halls, this was called night singing, not meant to entertain, but to settle the soul, to ease the mind towards sleep. The harp, the fire, your breath, all gently swaying together. You lean back just a little. Your shoulders sink, your hands rest in your lap, still clutching the dried herb bundle. Lavender, chamomile, yarrow. Their scent rises again, warmed by your hands. You close your eyes, just for a moment, and the harp continues. A lullaby without words, a story told in silver threads of sound. In old abbeys, there was a belief that sound, when played with intention, could sanctify a room, could weave protection into the walls, could call angels to listen. You feel that now, as if invisible wings stirred gently in the rafters, as if the air itself is holding you. You are not alone. You are never alone. Not in this hall, not in this hush. The 14th course begins not with taste, but with scent. The stewards pass again. This time, they carry small clay cups, steaming with milk, warm, infused with nutmeg and crushed anise, sweetened with honey from the king's own hives. You are handed one. The cup is smooth and warm in your palms, and when you lift it to your lips, you feel it soften everything inside you. It is gentle, like comfort in liquid form. In medieval kitchens, this was a bedtime drink called moon milk by some, taken not to nourish, but to sleep. You sip slowly, and as you do, The harp plays on. The fire crackles. The herbs in your hands breathe their scent into the warm stillness, and your thoughts become feathers, drifting, floating, settling. There is no weight in you now, only warmth, only hush. You open your eyes, just slightly, and the hall has changed again. Not with movement, but with mood. The feast is no longer just a gathering. It is a vigil, a prayer of presence. The guests around you are not strangers now. They are quiet stars in the same constellation, all glowing, all drifting, all here. Some rest their heads. Some lean against the walls, half asleep. Even the old dog by the king's feet has curled tighter, its breath slow and deep. You finish your cup, and as you set it down, you feel as if a candle has been gently blown out inside you. Not lost, not gone, just peacefully darkened, making room for stillness. And then, a final motion, a bell, one chime, soft, clear, high. It rings not from the rafters, but from the king's own hand, a small silver bell, barely louder than a breath. With that sound, you understand. The 15th course is rest. A servant approaches. No words, no instruction, just a gentle gesture, an outstretched hand. You rise, not with effort, not with rush, but like a leaf detaching from a tree, ready to fall softly into sleep. You are guided toward a side room, stone walls, a low ceiling, soft straw-filled mattresses, each tucked with woolen blankets. Each guest has their place. Yours is near a narrow, arched window, frosted at the edges, through which moonlight spills like silk. You lie down, blankets pulled up to your chest, herb bundle still resting near your heart. And as you close your eyes, the harp fades, the fire lowers, and the hush returns. Not empty, not silent, but full of all that has passed. The soup, the king, the feather in the vial, the book of names, the harp's silver whisper, all still here, held in the hush. You are warm, you are still, you are safe, and you are welcome to sleep. Soothing and serene like silk, unraveling in slow motion. Shh. No need to stir. Let your breath remain gentle. Let your limbs lie heavy beneath the woolen blanket. Let your thoughts continue to drift, as if your very mind were a paper boat gliding across the surface of a quiet stream. You are not waking, you are descending, and below the surface of sleep, the banquet continues. For not all parts of the feast are bound to the waking world. Some are given in dreams. This is the 16th course, a course of memory, a course of vision. You find yourself again not seated at the banquet table, but within it, as though the table stretches far beyond the hall, into fields, forests, starlit hills, into stories half told by the firelight. And here, the guests have changed. They are no longer robed in silence. They are cloaked in time. A boy sits cross-legged on a stool carved from oak, watching a knight mend a broken bridle. A washerwoman hangs linens on a line in a courtyard walled with ivy. A scribe candle dripping beside her inkstone copies lines of scripture with the steady care of someone weaving fate itself. You pass through these figures. They do not see you, but you feel them. Their warmth, their lives. Each one, once a guest at the table. Each one, held in the memory of the king. You see him again, Æthelred. But now, you see him young, long before the hall, before the hush. He is on horseback, riding through sleet and wind, his cloak snapped like a banner behind him. Beside him, Another writer laughing, a brother, perhaps, or a friend lost to history's folds. Their joy echoes like bells in your chest. Then the scene fades, like a candle extinguished in slow breath. And you understand, this is his banquet. Each course, a memory. Each guest, a chapter. Each silence, a truth he dared not speak aloud. Your body sleeps, but your mind continues through the still hour. You pass a chapel made of ashwood, its door ajar. Inside, a monk rests his head on an open book, not from exhaustion, but peace. There is no sound, no bell, but you feel it. That same hush, the same sacred quiet that filled the hall. The same silence that fed your soul with broth and herbs and honeyed milk. You drift again, this time through snow. Soft, soft snow. It gathers on rooftops, on cloaks, on window panes lit faintly from within. A village slumbers beneath you, and somewhere deep beneath the hearthstones a memory is being kept warm. You do not know what it is, but you know it is safe, and that is enough. Now, you stand beside a still pool. Moonlight dances across its surface, and in the water, you see your reflection. But not as you are, as you were, as you might be, as you have been across the centuries, wearing many names, speaking many tongues, but always listening, always returning to the hush. A voice enters then, not loud, not sudden, but soft, like the wind beneath a falcon's wing. It does not speak with words. It speaks in feeling, a message not written, but known. You are part of the hush now. You are a keeper of the stillness. Carry it gently, and it will carry you. And with that, the 16th course ends. You feel yourself returning, not to waking, but to warmth. To your bed within the hall, to your body, softened by silence, held by wool and stone and ancient memory. The fire has burned low. Only embers remain, glowing faintly, like the last stars before dawn. But you are not cold. You are warmed from within, by milk, by memory, by the hush itself. Somewhere nearby, a crow calls once, low and brief. And you remember in medieval times, crows were thought to carry souls between worlds, not as omens, but as guides, messengers who walked between breath and shadow. You smile, faintly, for you too are walking that in-between now, not waking, not dreaming, but resting in the folds of time. Inhale slowly. Let the last scent of lavender drift through you. Let the memory of harp notes echo across your ribs. Exhale, and know that you are safe. No part of you is forgotten. No breath of you wasted. You are held. You are known. You are home. More of the banquet waits. But for now, rest. We will return when the hush calls again, and the story will welcome you. Soft, spoken, even slower now, as if words are being cradled in velvet. Shh, don't wake. Not yet. Let your body remain still. Let your fingers remain curled. Let your breath float like fog across the moors of your dreaming mind. The hush is still here. It wraps around you, not like a blanket, but like a lullaby with no end. And now, the 17th course begins. Not with taste, not with sight, but with touch. You stir only slightly in your bedding, and you feel it, something soft and cool resting on your chest. You do not open your eyes, but you know what it is. A piece of linen, pressed and folded, weighed just enough to be real, but not enough to disturb. It has been placed there with care, as it once was placed over the brows of monks in quiet vigil. In medieval abbeys, this cloth was called velum noctis, the night veil. Soaked in rosewater, and tucked near the heart to quiet dreams, to soothe the mind, to guard the soul through darkness. Now, you wear one, and the dream deepens. The hall is no longer a hall. It becomes a cloister, stone arches, moss between the cracks, water dripping gently into a worn basin. The same drop, again and again, like a heartbeat made of stone and time. You drift through the arches, and with each step, you hear the silence speaking. Not in words, but in presence. You are not alone. You are never alone. The walls are etched with prayers, not inked, but scratched. Names, symbols, tiny stars and leaves, carved by hands long vanished. This was how the forgotten remembered themselves. A knight, perhaps, praying before battle. A novice, tracing her mother's initials in stone. And you, your fingertips, drift across the markings. Each one, a whisper. Each one, a soft flame in the long hush. The fire, too, has changed. It is smaller now, reduced to glowing coals. But not weaker. No. This is a sacred kind of warmth, the kind that does not burn, only remembers. A warmth that knows what you need, and offers it, without question. Now, the 18th course is offered. It is not placed in your hands, not served in bowls. It is offered in dream. You are handed a small object, not by a servant, but by a figure robed in dusk. You look down. It is a key, iron, worn, cold. You know nothing about it. And yet, you understand. This is not a key to open doors. It is a key to keep them closed, to protect what must be guarded, to seal away what no longer needs to be carried. In medieval lore, kings would bury keys beside their thrones. Keys to rooms they swore never to re-enter. Not out of fear, but out of peace. You turn the key in your hand. You feel its weight. You close your fingers around it, and quietly, you let go of what it holds. No grand release, no dramatic tear, just the gentle acknowledgement that some doors no longer need to be watched. And in that moment, you sleep more deeply. The hush has reached its peak now. It is no longer just around you. It is within you. The hush has become your pulse, your breath, your thoughts, and the king, the quiet king, he sees you. He stands again, but not to speak, not to command. He walks slowly, past every guest, past every sleeper, past you. He carries something in his hands, a single, black feathered quill. He pauses, kneels, and places it gently at the foot of your bed. A gift for dreams yet to be written, for stories only the silent can tell. In the still hour of the feast, nothing is said, and yet everything is understood. No farewells, no goodbyes, only presence, only peace, only the weightless truth that silence is not emptiness. It is abundance. Inhale now, and feel how light you've become, how gently the hush holds you, how far the fire's warmth reaches. Exhale, and let it go. The last of your waking thought. The hall is no longer distant. It is you. You carry it now in breath, in memory, in sleep, and beyond the coals, beyond the arches, beyond the velvet hush of your resting soul, a bell waits to ring. But not yet. Not until you're ready. And you are not yet ready. Not just yet.
Yes. We go on now, drifting deeper, where dreams breathe slower than clouds, and silence hums in the space between heartbeats. ASMR Bedtime Story Script. Title: The Silent Banquet of King Æthelred. Part 10 of 15. Words: 1, 0, whisper, smooth, intimate, inviting sleep to gather close and stay a while. The hush has thickened. It no longer lies just in the hall or the courtyard. It flows into you now, like soft ink through parchment, gently filling every hollow within. You are not asleep, but you are not quite awake either. You hover, like starlight on water, like mist on the edge of dawn. And in that sacred stillness, the 19th course arrives. This course is unseen. It is not touched by hand. It is not sipped or savored. It is heard only inside, within the mind, within the soul. It is a memory, but not yours. It comes from the hush itself. You begin to see it without trying, like a candle appearing slowly in a darkened room. A woman sits at a loom. She is old, not in age, but in presence. Her eyes carry centuries. Her fingers move with purpose older than names. She weaves not cloth, but silence. Thread by thread, she pulls sound from the air and folds it into fabric. She is the keeper of the hush. Every kingdom has had one, but few remember. Her threads are made from the pause between words in a love letter, the space between the last note of a song and the first sound of applause, the breath before a prayer begins. She weaves these invisible moments together, creating a tapestry that warms without heat, shields without walls. And tonight, she weaves for you. Your name is spun into the cloth, not the name others know, but the name the silence knows, the name only the stars whisper, the name only dreams recognize. She does not look up. She does not need to. She knows you're here. She has always known. And her loom creaks softly with rhythm, like a lullaby you've never heard, but somehow remember. In medieval times, tapestries were more than decoration. They told stories, protected rooms from wind and cold, held blessings and secrets within their weft and weave. This tapestry is no different. But it wraps not a wall. It wraps you. You feel it now. A warmth, soft as breath, gently settling around your shoulders, a weightless cloak of woven hush, a story made of silence, meant only for you. It doesn't speak. It listens. It doesn't bind. It frees. And you sink deeper beneath it. Now, you are in a place beyond the hall, beyond the banquet, beyond even dreams. You walk a quiet corridor, lined with doors, each one carved from different woods: elm, oak, holly, birch. Each door leads to a dream, not a fantasy, a memory, forgotten even by time. You pause before one door. Its handle is shaped like a crescent moon. Its hinges breathe out the scent of beeswax and salt. You open it not with hands, but with intention. And inside, you step into a garden, not a grand one. No statues, no fountains, just a tucked-away patch of wild growth, thyme spilling over stone, rose hips like lanterns in the hedges, and soft moss underfoot. This was once the garden of the castle cook. He came here after meals, not to harvest, but to rest, to remember flavors long forgotten, to smell the leaves, to sit in the hush after fire and laughter and feeding. You sit on the low wall, touch the thyme. It releases its scent instantly sharp, green, familiar. The garden sighs with you, and for a time, there's only this. No story, no feast, no king, just the earth and the silence that watches it grow. You may not know why this garden was shown to you, but you feel something within it, a slowing, a softening, a returning, and the hush that has followed you since the first spoon touched your lips now takes root in your chest. It pulses there, a quiet center, a still flame, a knowing. You rise, not because you must, but because it is time. And as you step back through the door, the corridor behind it is gone. You are in your bed again, in the great hall, the fire low, the hush complete, the herb bundle still pressed near your heart, the key still curled beneath your fingers, and the cloak of silence still wrapped around your soul. One more breath, in and out, as if each moment has become its own dream, and you are made of nothing but breath and hush and sleep. There are but a few courses left now, few steps before the banquet ends. But let us not rush. Let us linger, where hush becomes healing and sleep becomes sacred.
Whispered like a breeze through cathedral stone, soft, sacred, slow, you rest, not just in body, but in spirit. Somewhere, the last ember gives its final glow, but you do not see it. You only feel the warmth it leaves behind. And now, with barely a breath, the 20th course begins. This course is not given to you. You are led to it. A dream-form guide appears at the foot of your bed, neither servant nor steward, but something older, something shaped by hush. They wear no crown, no shoes, only robes, the color of fog. And with a slow hand, they beckon. You rise. Not quickly, not loudly, like a leaf lifted by windless air. You walk side by side, through a narrow passage, through a hidden door. The stones beneath your feet are warm, as if they remember the fire, as if they welcome every soul who walks this path in stillness. The corridor turns, then opens into a chamber, round, low-ceilinged, bathed in moonlight, not from above, but from below. There in the center, a still pool, black as ink, smooth as glass. It reflects only your presence, and nothing else. This is the well sleep. In medieval lore, such wells were whispered about, hidden beneath old monasteries, guarded by silence and song. They were not meant for drawing water. They were meant for reflection, not of face, but of soul. Tonight, you are to drink from it, not with lips, not with hands, with memory. Your guide kneels beside the pool. They do not speak, but you understand. You kneel too, and the water begins to shimmer, not ripple, not move, shimmer, as if stirred not by air, but by time. You gaze into it, and at first, you see only darkness, then a flicker, not light, a moment, your moment, a child's hand pressing against old wood, a meal taken under branches instead of rafters, a laugh once shared and long forgotten. This is the true feast, not food, not ritual, but remembrance. You lean closer, and the hush within the well meets the hush within you, and they become one. Not louder, not stronger, just more complete. You do not weep. You do not speak. You simply remember, and remembering is enough. At last, your guide places a hand on your shoulder. You rise together, but before you leave, you notice, at the edge of the well, a single feather floats, not black, like the one the king gave. This one is silver, pale, radiant. Still, your guide lifts it, places it in your palm, and closes your fingers around it. It holds no weight, and yet, it anchors you, not to this place, but to yourself, to the hush you now carry, to the dream you have become. You follow the guide back through the narrow stone hall, back toward the sleeping chamber, but you pause, because at the archway the king waits, not with ceremony, not with command, just a presence, a stillness, a gaze. And you bow your head, not to show loyalty, but to show that you understand. He steps aside and lets you return, back to your bed, back to your warmth, back to your soft herb-scented bundle, and the wool blanket that remembers your shape. You lie down, slower now, deeper, and place the silver feather beside the black one. You do not need to know what they mean. Only that one came at the beginning and one at the nearing end. Bookends to your journey through the hush. And as you settle, your breath returns to the rhythm of sleeping monks, to the slow lull of winter wind through high windows, to the silent echo of yew branches creaking in moonlight. You are almost fully asleep now. Only a whisper away, only a blink from dream's full embrace. You feel lighter, not empty, but unburdened. Every part of you is softened, loosened, wrapped in hush, and you know only a few steps remain in the feast, and you are ready, not to awaken, but to complete the circle, to return whole, to dream full, to sleep deep. Tone, feather, soft, warm, and drifting like the voice itself has curled up to sleep beside you. You are lying still, and yet you are moving, through dream, through memory, through hush. Like a boat on slow, silent water, the blanket breathes with you now, rising, falling, matching the rhythm of something ancient, something eternal. The 21st course does not arrive on a plate. It does not enter the room. It awakens within you, a feeling, warm, quiet, and deeply, impossibly familiar. The feeling of belonging. You are still wrapped in the woven hush, the tapestry placed over your shoulders in the previous hour. But now, it begins to glow. Not bright, not like fire, but soft, like moonlight pressing through linen curtains. Each thread a memory shared with others. Each shimmer a moment where your stillness touched another soul. In medieval monasteries, there was a belief that silence itself could become communal, that monks, though separated by walls, could hear one another in the hush, heart to heart, without word or breath. Tonight, you feel that truth. You are not alone in this sleep, in this silence. You are surrounded. They are not names you know, but they are near. They rest beside you, around you, beyond you. Some have walked this path centuries ago. Some walk it now, and some have not yet been born. But they are here, with you, all cradled by the same hush, all warmed by the same sleep, all fed by the same silent banquet. The quill, the feather, the key, the herbs, all these were not gifts. They were reminders that this hush was always yours, that this stillness lives inside you. It simply needed to be remembered. And now, the 22nd course. It comes as a sound. Just one. A soft knock. Wood on stone. Stone on wood. Rhythmic. Deliberate. Slow. You do not rise. You do not startle. Because you know, this is not someone coming in. It is someone leaving. In the silence of the old ways, departures were not announced. They were acknowledged. Not with fanfare, not with trumpet, but with a single knock and a bowed head. A message. I was here, and now I rest. The knock fades, but its echo lingers. Inside your ribs, between your fingers. In the rhythm of your breath, you feel grateful. Not for the knock itself, but for being still enough to hear it. Now, the walls around you feel softer, less like stone, more like fog. Even the ceiling above you feels like sky. And somewhere in the room, a soft fragrance rises. Not herb, not food, but wax. The 23rd course. You smell it before you see it. Beeswax. Warm and clean. The scent of candle making, of comb and honey and slow, loving work. You open your eyes, and there, at the foot of your bed, a single candle burns. Short, round, dripped in layers. The flame dances, but does not flicker. It is steady, And its glow, it tells a story. Once, long ago, monks would pour their own candles by hand, layer by layer, drip by drip, until each flame carried not just light, but prayer. That is the candle before you now. One that has known waiting. One that has learned stillness. It will burn until the hush is complete. Until you are wholly asleep. Until your dream is full. You watch it for a while. Not long, not short, just enough. And then, your eyes close again. Not by force, but by invitation. By peace. The hush has no more tasks for you. No more symbols to offer. No more steps to walk. Only this. To rest. To stay. To sleep. Completely. Wholly. Softly. You've crossed the threshold of the banquet. And now, in the final hours of night, you lie at the heart of it. The center. The still point. The sacred hush. You've been fed with silence, warmed by memory, clothed in dreams, and what remains is only sleep. Tone, barely. There, drowsy, soft, like warm fog brushing over skin. The hush has become thick now, like velvet folded again and again, until even time seems to sleep inside its seams. Your limbs are heavy, but not burdened, just stilled. Like a candle after the flame has been blown out, its warmth still held in the wax. Around you, the great hall no longer echoes. It hums, low, gentle, like a bell, rung not with metal, but with breath. You are not awake, but you are listening. And the hush, it tells you things, not in words, but in warmth. The 24th course arrives in a way few notice. It's not offered to the eyes, nor placed into the hands. It comes in the form of a dream within a dream. In the hush of the hush, you dream that you are standing in the banquet hall again. But this time, it is empty. No guests, no stewards, no food, no sound. Only long tables and the golden echo of firelight, long gone. And yet, you are not afraid. You are not lost. You are being shown something. At the end of the hall stands a mirror, tall, narrow, framed in carved yew wood. Its surface is still and deep, like the well sleep. You approach it slowly, and what you see is not just your reflection, it is all of you. Every version, every age, every silence you've ever carried, every hush that ever held you close. It is beautiful, and it is enough. In old medieval traditions, mirrors were veiled before sleep, not out of superstition, but out of reverence, to honor the soul's journey, inward, undistracted, undisturbed. Tonight, your mirror is unveiled, because the soul is no longer leaving. It has already arrived. You reach out, and the mirror ripples like water, and your hand passes through. You feel not cold, not heat, but knowing, not knowledge, not facts, but the deep understanding that you are exactly where you should be. In this hush, in this dream, in this sleep, you step back, and the hall begins to shift. The mirror becomes mist. The tables dissolve. The stones sigh. And suddenly, you are back in your bed. But now, you feel different. Not changed. Not altered. Completed. The candle still burns. Its flame, a thread between waking and dream. A soft light that doesn't disturb, only watches, only waits, and beside it, a small bowl of water. Still, reflective, moonlight kissed. This is the 25th course. It is the final element, water. You've had earth in the stone walls, air in the scented herbs, fire in the hearth and candle, and now, water, the last offering, It is not for drinking. It is for witnessing. You rise, barely lifting your head. Your fingers reach toward the bowl. You do not touch the water. You only gaze, and in it you see everything. The silent spoon, the black feather, the silver one, the tapestry of hush, the well sleep, the king, the garden, the door, the hush, and finally, you see yourself, sleeping, whole, held. In ancient lore, some believed water held memory, that it could mirror not just what is, but what was and what matters. This bowl, this final course, is not meant to show you anything new. It's meant to remind you, you were never lost. You were only waiting. Waiting for stillness, waiting for silence, waiting for yourself. And now, you are here. You lower your head again, eyes heavy, breath slow. The bowl remains, the candle glows, but you no longer need them. The hush is in you now, so let it hold you. Let the banquet fade, and let the hush become your dream. Tone, melting, whisper, slow, almost inaudible, as if the words are being spoken in a dream you're barely awake enough to hear. You lie still, but you are not sleeping through the hush. You are sleeping with it, held by it, like parchment wrapped in silk, like a lullaby written in ink made of dusk. Nothing stirs now, not even thought. The candle has grown shorter, its flame the size of a sigh. The bowl of water remains, reflecting nothing now but your breath, the way a still pond reflects wind that does not reach it. You feel the closeness of the moment, the nearing end, but not in a way that closes, in a way that gathers. The 26th course is silence itself, but not the silence of absence. This silence is full. It is a silence that remembers. In the dim hours of medieval monasteries, before dawn but after night, monks would sit in stillness not to pray with words, but to listen. They called it the Great Listening Hour, and here you are, in that same hour, in that same stillness, listening. There is nothing to hear, and yet you feel everything. The hush behind every sound, the space between each breath, the stillness holding every dream. This is the silence that feeds. This is the silence the banquet has led you to. The table, long cleared, is not gone. It remains in the shape of your spine, in the space beneath your ribs, in the soft arch of your sleeping form. You are the table now, and the hush is resting upon you, gently, gratefully, as if to say, thank you. You do not respond with words. You don't need to. Your breath answers for you. Slow, safe, certain. Then, very faintly, a sound, but not from outside, from within. A note, soft and pure, like a string plucked in the heart. It is the 27th course, a sound only the soul can hear. The song of stillness. No melody, no rhythm, just presence. In medieval legend, it was said that when a person reached perfect rest, the soul sang quietly to itself, a single, unending tone, a lullaby of the self to the self. You are hearing yours now, and it is beautiful. No one else will ever hear it. It is not meant to be shared. It is yours, only yours. A song made not of music, but of truth. It cradles you now, folds around you, settles beneath your skin, and your body responds by softening even more. Everything you've been given, the spoon, the feather, the cloak, the herb bundle, they have served their purpose. They are no longer symbols. They are you. And now, a presence returns. The king, Æthelred. But he does not stand in shadow. He stands at your side, as if to keep vigil, as if to guard the silence now blooming within you. He says nothing, but he does something rare. He kneels beside your bed, beside your breath, beside your sleep, and gently, without fanfare, he places his hand open, warm above your heart, not touching, just hovering, and then he whispers, not into your ear, but into your dream, a single word, too soft to remember, too sacred to repeat, but it echoes within you like warmth, and you understand. This was never just a banquet. It was a remembering, a return, a blessing made of silence. The candle flickers now. It is near its end, and you are nearly gone to sleep completely. Not lightly, not temporarily, fully, sacredly, safely. You are lying in stillness now, complete stillness. Not because you must, but because there is nothing more to reach for. Everything has arrived. Everything is held. Everything is quiet. You are the hush, and the hush is you. The 28th and final course arrives not as a gift, not as a sign, but as a departure, a soft parting, a closing of a chapter, not with ink, but with exhale. In ancient monasteries, when a meal of silence came to its end, the abbot would rise and lift a candle. He would not speak. He would only walk from one end of the table to the other, passing every soul, one flame, one gesture, and then he would pause and with 2 fingers gently pinch out the light. It was not a symbol of loss or ending or sorrow. It was the final blessing. The flame has burned long enough. Now it may rest. Tonight, you feel this gesture, not with your eyes, but within, somewhere deep in your chest, where the hush hums low and slow. You feel a soft pinch, a warmth, being gently closed, not extinguished, concluded. The candle beside your bed grows quiet. Its wick curls inward, its light sighs, and without even a flicker it fades, leaving behind only glow, not light, not flame, just the memory of it, the warmth of what once was, and the peace of what now is. You are not afraid of the dark, because this is not darkness, it is rest, full, total, timeless. Your body no longer separate from the bed, from the hush, from the dream. You are entirely part of it now, like fog to the moor, like dew to the leaf, like hush to the hall. And the king? He is gone, but not away. He now rests within the same silence as you. He has finished his vigil. He has walked the banquet circle, and now he sleeps too. The long table, the silvered plates, the stonework walls, they do not vanish. They settle, like snow after a storm, like dust after sunlight. They are no longer places. They are remembrance. They are dream. And you? You drift, not into another place, but into depth, where thought cannot follow, where time cannot reach, where the hush folds over itself like wings, the black feather, the silver feather. They rest together on your chest, one from the beginning, one from the end. Now they are simply quiet, and in the soft folds of your blanket, the key turns once, then sleeps. The herbs no longer breathe. They exhale fully, and then fall silent. Nothing is lost. Everything is held, and you are asleep. No words will follow. Only the hush, only the drift, only the night, quiet and wide, welcoming you completely. Sleep now, deeper than before, softer than ever, safe as the halls beneath the hush. You are home. You are whole. You are asleep. The end of the silent banquet of King Æthelred.